have to grow old.
Live from KSTP TV, this is Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 10.
This research offers the potential to eliminate diseases, literally save millions of lives.
Michael J. Fox joined other celebrities on Capitol Hill today to make a passionate plea for stem cell research. Good evening, I'm Julie Nelson.
And I'm Randy Meyer. Stem cell research is one of the most promising advances in medicine in decades. It could transform the way doctors treat and perhaps someday cure people with neuromuscular diseases. It's controversial because the source of stem cells is human embryos. Tonight, its future is embroiled in politics. Channel 5's Chris Patro joins us with more. Chris?
Well, the race for the White House is less than 2 months away, and this is one issue both major party candidates are facing. Bush opposes federal funding that involves destroying living human embryos. Gore supports federal funding for stem cell research derived from human embryos. Bush supports innovative medical research using adult tissue, and Gore supports a requirement that stem cells come from embryos donated after they were no longer useful at fertility clinics. Tonight we talked to one local family who cares less about the politics of this research. They care about the future for their 6 sons.
Here we go. Move up, Biff. Move up, Biff. Move up, Biff. Tom, get ready. Get ready, Tom. Get in there, Tom.
Playing soccer is hard enough.
Good decision. That away.
Dino, it's all you. But it's harder still when your fancy footwork has to come from a wheelchair.
I got to play in a handicapped soccer team. It's not bad, but I like to play on a real team. Brian's open.
15-year-old Mike Hansen here is a goalie with a goal: to beat the disease that keeps him in this wheelchair.
I asked the doctor, well, when is this kid going to walk?
He never walked. Spinal muscular atrophy wasted his nerves and muscles away. But he hopes new research will give him a new game plan.
I mean, I'm excited about it.
So are doctors, because they're finding they can take embryonic cells like these, they're called stem cells, and turn them into nerve cells, or blood cells, or heart cells, even muscle, just about any lost or damaged cell the body needs.
The trick here is going to be to get those cells to go where you need them to go and to turn into the kind of cell that you need them to turn into.
Dr. John Day and his fellow researchers at the U of M are among the leaders in research like this, and the first to admit
it does take an awful lot of money.
But Mike's parents say if the legislators holding the checkbook only knew what it means to their son,
he does have dreams, he has goals,
they'd kick in the cash.
That's a goal.
And help him win.
Good job.
Chris Patro, Eyewitness News.
Researchers propose getting these stem cells from embryos or fetuses that have died. Opponents say this is unethical and worry it would increase the number of abortions so doctors could harvest the healthy cells.
Repeat sex offender Gregory Welch is back in jail tonight. He's the man accused of assaulting a woman last month in Battle Creek Park. Police caught him this morning in Chicago at his grandmother's house. Channel 5's Bridget Bornstein has more on the story. Bridget?
Well, Julie, Welch's arrest has people who live in the East Metro feeling a bit safer tonight. Welch's criminal history at Battle Creek Park is well known to police. He's been convicted of 3 separate attacks on women there. Police say he attacked another woman at the park a couple weeks ago, and that's why people have been uneasy. But today, that all changed.
You might say the tunes changed around here. You know people are feeling more relaxed when they can crack jokes.
If he'd come near me, I'd have gotten it with my cane.
Kali Hassan was hesitant to bring his 3 children to the park. He hadn't heard yet that Greg Welch was caught.
I was very sorry about what happened to the lady, yeah.
The police got him.
They got him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a relief to this group also. All week they've been thinking about this outing and about the crime that happened here.
Very scary.
I'm glad they caught up with the guy, and it's good to be out on a nice day like today and be able to enjoy the park without thinking about that.
They're glad after a week of worry that the situation's been resolved on somewhat of a happier note. Bridget Bornstein, Eyewitness News.
Gregory Welch is held in a Chicago jail until he can be returned to Minnesota.
4 years ago, a state trooper made a split-second decision to shoot and kill a man following a high-speed car chase. Today, the shooting cost the state $375,000 in an out-of-court settlement with the man's family. Back in 1996, Adam Hotkowitz was a passenger in a stolen truck that led police on a chase around the 694 and 494 loop. It ended when squad cars pushed the truck off 35E near the Maryland Avenue exit. The trooper then fired the fatal shot. State Patrol admitted no fault in today's settlement and says the trooper faced a life-threatening situation when he pulled the trigger. Tomorrow, former U of M tutor Jan Gangelhoff will enter a plea agreement in court. Gangelhoff blew the whistle on academic cheating by U of M basketball players. She'll agree to plead guilty to misappropriating federal education grants. Basically, she wrote papers for players allowing them to pass classes and continue to qualify for Pell Grants, and that's a felony.
A Pell Grant is an appropriation of federal money, and anytime somebody is involved directly or indirectly with stealing federal money, that would be a federal crime.
As part of her plea, she'll agree to become a cooperative witness against former academic counselor Alonzo Newby and former coach Clem Haskins.
We're covering America in Chicago, where an underground electrical transformer blew, sending flames and smoke out onto city streets today. The 3-alarm fire in the well-known Loop section of Chicago started around 1 p.m. Firefighters got it under control late this afternoon. Workers were doing repairs in the area at the time, but investigators don't know what caused the explosion. No one was hurt. Tonight, the NAACP and the American Civil Liberties Union are demanding 3 Miami police officers be fired. A news crew videotaped the officers beating and kicking a man suspected of auto theft. Civil rights activists say the officers used excessive force. Police say the man led them on a high-speed chase and fired a shot at a police car before eventually running from his car.
The presidential debates will begin next month, but Gore may have an unfair advantage. His campaign mysteriously received a videotape of Bush practicing a mock debate. The tape has been turned over to the FBI, and a lawyer for Bush says the tape is authentic. Meanwhile, the first debate is scheduled for October 3rd in Boston. They'll square off again October 11th in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, then on the 17th in St. Louis. Each debate will last 90 minutes, but the format has yet to be worked out. It appears New Yorkers like the way Hillary Clinton handled herself in the first Senate debate with Rick Lazio. A poll conducted after the debate by a New York television station and the Daily News showed 49% of people questioned say the First Lady did a better job. 36% favored Lazio. After a few pleasantries, the debate quickly turned into a full hour of confrontation.
Listening to the Congressman's response reminds me of a word I've heard a lot of this past year, chutzpah. He stands here and tells us that he's a moderate, mainstream, independent member of Congress. Well, in fact, he was a deputy whip to Newt Gingrich.
Mrs. Clinton, you, of all people, shouldn't try to make guilt by association. Newt Gingrich isn't running in this race. I'm running in this race.
And when the debate ended, the two candidates did not bother shaking hands.
Governor Ventura kept very busy today. Tonight, he gave his endorsement to Nancy Jorgensen, the mayor of Fridley, who's running for a seat in the Minnesota House on the independence ticket. Earlier today, Ventura threw his support behind U.S. Senate candidate James Gibson and 4th District congressional candidate Tom Foley.
By electing these two men and sending them to Washington, we will indeed shock the world again, and we will show the world that Minnesota is the Mecca of the third-party movement.
A short time later, the governor sat down for a live webcast with ABC's Sam Donaldson. The two talked about Ventura's new book and his thoughts on the presidential candidates. Next week, while he's in Washington, D.C. promoting his book, Ventura will make an appearance at a national rally for campaign finance reform. A push is on to make driving and dialing illegal. That story's next.
Then will the weekend be wet or maybe wonderful? Dave has the forecast straight ahead. And the search is on for a Renaissance runaway.
Then in Focus 5, this couple lost their home, but not their humor after the Granite Falls tornado.
Plus, we'll tell you why this man never gets tired of hearing "fill her up."
Closed captioning.
Some Minnesota doctors want to ban cell phone use behind the wheel, except in emergencies.
That's right. The Minnesota Medical Association, or MMA, says you're 3 times more likely to be in a fatal crash talking on your phone than driving drunk. Dialing a wireless phone while driving is becoming a new cause of accidents. All you have to do is ask a paramedic.
They don't hear us, they don't pull over, and when they do finally hear us,
They panic and they'll hit the brakes. They'll throw their cell phone. And it's been getting worse and worse.
Wireless companies recommend pulling over to make any calls from your car or using a hands-free attachment. The MMA is expected to vote on that issue tomorrow. Well, the rising use of cell phones is causing a bit of a controversy in the East Metro. Authorities in the St. Croix River Valley are calling for a ban on new cell phone towers. People opposed to new towers requests in Afton, Stillwater, and Somerset, Wisconsin say the towers would be too visible from the scenic St. Croix River. Cell phone companies say they need the towers to cover gaps in their coverage. Officials hope to draw up a cell phone tower plan by the end of the year.
Well, a big star of the Renaissance Festival is missing tonight. This is Scheherazade. The Falcon is a popular performer at the festival, but during a show Saturday, she took off and wasn't able to land because of high winds. Scheherazade was last spotted Monday in Victoria. Her owner says she could be in trouble if she doesn't learn to survive on her own.
Well, that funnel cloud that formed over Granite Falls in July was fierce. It spawned one of Minnesota's worst tornadoes.
The twister obliterated a quarter of the town, ripping homes completely off foundations. One person died.
But tonight, a story of two survivors. Omer and Eldora Peterson lost their home, but not their humor.
Instead of rebuilding, they downsized. In tonight's Focus 5, Rod Rassman shows us how a touch of optimism and a little laughter can heal the hurt of losing your home.
We seen debris go, so we thought, boy, let's get to the basement. Then we heard the train.
As much help as we can up here right away.
It dropped out of a black July sky, changed Granite Falls forever.
It was just a roar and a blast and the way the house went.
The tornado left people like Omer and Eldora Peterson looking for even the smallest sign of the life they once led.
Where's the house? The house is all over.
In the house they once had.
56 years we gathered the things together. Only a few seconds took it away.
Today, more than a month and a half later, there are places in Granite Falls that look like they just got hit. And places people are clearly putting the pieces back together.
Oh, sure.
This battered lamp pole is about the only reminder of Willie Roy's old house. But Willie is well on his way to a fresh start in a new, improved version of home.
I had the garage in the back before, so now I think it's going to be nice to have it attached.
Now, Willie Roy is using this as an opportunity to change how he lives, but at least a few people here in Granite Falls are taking this tornado as a sign they should change where they live.
This is home.
We have to make it our home, so we're going to say it is our home.
Yeah.
Home for Omer and Eldora Peterson now consists of just 3 rooms, and one is a bathroom.
This is what you call togetherness.
The 3-bedroom ranch they lived in for 20 years just happened to get in the way of the tornado's worst winds.
This is our kitchen where we do our cooking.
So now a tour of the Peterson home has gotten a lot shorter.
Here's where we do our sitting.
But that's okay with the Petersons. In fact, they don't plan to rebuild.
It's too much stress. And in our age, we want to take it easy. We don't want to think.
No. We don't want to think that much.
I don't want to think too much because they've learned during their occasional visits to their old house.
They've filled our basement.
Those thoughts bring them back to how it used to be.
No, we're going to miss this house.
How it'll never be again.
Yeah, you see that writing on that house over there?
Santa, please bring back our neighbors and trees.
One Christmas wish that'll never come true, although that's not to say the Petersons will go without a Merry Christmas this year, because they choose to hold on to the good thoughts about all the people who have helped them.
People have been wonderful. Oh, the people.
It's
unbelievable, the things.
Really surprising.
They also hang on to the little things that survived along with them, like their wedding picture, taken while Omer was on leave from World War II.
And I come home, and I said I went from one war into another one.
The one he'll never win. He'll never win it.
Although now they say they've survived another war, huddled together next to that freezer down there in the basement.
Say, he never squeezed me that hard when we were going together. We held on tight.
After more than a half-century of marriage, it took a tornado to show Omer and Eldora Peterson that all the rest of it is just stuff. They still have the only thing that really matters.
We're together. You know, we both survived, and that's the best.
Rod Rassman, Eyewitness News, Granite Falls.
Well, as Rod mentioned, the Petersons are still living in Granite Falls, but in an apartment complex for seniors. Well, they'd planned on living there eventually, but the tornado pushed up that timetable a bit. And you know, they said, people are so wonderful, we're so surprised. For wonderful people like that,
What a cute.
you know, it's not surprising.
You might remember Eldora. She was the one that
lost her purse.
Wanted to find her purse so badly, and I got a chance to talk to her on there. Finally, they found it in the bushes, and that's all she wanted. She found her purse.
Very cute
Great couple.
It happened again, guys. We had another one of those CMEs.
Explain.
Coronal mass ejections.
Yes,
yeah. And you know what that leads to?
That does need an explanation.
Northern Lights.
Northern Lights, possibly.
I learned that one the hard way, didn't I, Dave?
Yes, you did. Now, how does this happen? Well, we get one of those solar flares on the sun, and that emits some particles in our direction. So we're going to take a close-up look and show you what a solar flare looks like on the surface of the sun. And this happened a couple of days ago. There it is, and that ejects those particles toward the Earth, and they're collected around the magnetic poles. And what happens is the northern lights. So where do you want to look? Well, the next 2 nights, look up in the northern sky, and of course, well after dark, usually after midnight before this really becomes visible. The only problem is the moon, which is almost full, may hinder the viewing a little bit. Out there right now here in the eastern part of the state, it is a gorgeous evening. We have clear skies, and our temperatures are dropping off in a hurry. It's down to 56 in Minneapolis, 58 in St. Paul, 55 in White Bear Lake, 53 in Stillwater, and 50 in the Afton area. And a close-up look at the Afton area. They had a high today of 70. Their current temp now stands at 50, and we have still a northwest breeze blowing across the area. What's going to happen over the next couple of days? Well, the weekend outlook calls for sunshine statewide on Saturday all the way through Wisconsin. Sunday, not much of a change. A little bit warmer, though, especially up north. 70s for temperatures up there. 70s as well in Wisconsin, and near 80 here in the southern part of the state. Very hard to find a cloud in the entire picture. We have clear skies tonight. That could lead to a little frost, especially up in northeastern Minnesota. That's where the air is fairly dry and the wind has settled down already. With that clear sky, it's kind of a perfect setup for that to happen. Now, I think even temperatures in the outlying suburbs, maybe in the Afton area, could get down close to the upper 30s for overnight lows tonight. But I think the frost, if it does occur, will be up in northeastern Minnesota, maybe the far northwestern corner of Wisconsin, where temperatures already are in the 40s. Overnight tonight, then, that cool high-pressure system kind of settles in. That lightens up the winds, keeps the sky clear. Tomorrow during the day, we'll start off with a lot of sunshine, a few clouds covering up the sun during the afternoon tomorrow. Otherwise, not a bad way to kick off that weekend as we head in toward a real nice weekend here for late summer. Overnight tonight, then, the Weather Center 5 forecast calls for a clear sky, low down to 41. As I said, outlying suburbs, upper 30s. Then for tomorrow morning, starting out with sunshine, right around 44. In the afternoon, more sunshine. A few clouds out there, 63 for the afternoon temp. As we look ahead, though, it warms up quickly. Saturday and Sunday, temperatures in the low to mid-70s, possibly up close to the upper 70s on Sunday. And then the next chance of rain comes our way Monday. Top out at 81 then.
Wow.
Yahoo.
Nice weekend.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Dave. Joe's talking Vikings and sports next.
All right, plus, Cretin-Durham Hall continues its...
This Eyewitness News weather report is brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Sometimes the final moments make for the biggest gains, like during the Chrysler 2000 final clearance. Take advantage of our biggest cash allowances of the year on new 2000 models. Choose up to a $2,000 cash allowance on Chrysler cars. Or choose less than 1% short-term financing, just 0.9. Plus, there's great lease rates. So hurry to the Chrysler 2000 final clearance, because when the bell rings on October 2nd, it's all over.
Stay on top of your favorite team to catch the latest Viking news each week on Vikings Live. This week, your local Dodge dealers help deliver the highlights from the Viking-Patriots game. Joe Schmidt and Eric Gislason break down the big plays and look at next week with special guests Orlando Thomas and Corey Stringer. Then at 8, Dallas battles Washington on Monday Night Football. Don't miss Vikings Live this Monday at 6:30. Then at 8, it's Monday Night Football. You want game? Channel 5's got it.
Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Because together we will stand every ball.
We're celebrating 37 years as the Twin Cities mattress expert at all 13 Mattress Liquidators locations. Save on America's #1 selling mattress, Sealy. Top quality Sealy mattresses start at just $49 each piece. Save hundreds on Sealy Posturepedic Queen sets, now only $2.99. At Mattress Liquidators, our best price and comfort guarantee means you can't make a buying mistake. Stop by one of our 13 locations today. Call 872-8888 for the location near you. Mattress Liquidators, your mattress value superstores.
KS95 at work.
Home of the 9 to 5, no repeat workday. The best variety.
All day at work. No repeat.
KS95.
All day at work.
I listen at work.
KS95. The best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today.
KS95.
No repeat. All day at work. The best variety.
The best variety all day at work. KS95. Just as nature has her way of reducing inventories, so do we. It's the Jeep September clearance, where you'll save big on our entire stock of legendary vehicles. Like Grand Cherokee Laredo with a $1,500 cash allowance or financing as low as 0.9%. Or lease and get up to $5,300 in total values if you're a returning Daimler Chrysler lessee. So get to the Jeep September clearance today before inventories dwindle down to nothing. See your dealer during the Jeep September clearance.
Old-fashioned full service. That's our Minnesota moment tonight. In Clara City, for more than 60 years, August Donner has been pumping gas. People call him Sonny. Most other gas station owners have stopped providing full service, but Sonny still does.
It's almost time to retire, ain't it?
Well, I did that a few years ago. But I couldn't stand it.
Sonny plans to pump gas until he just can't do it anymore. And you know, didn't we just have that conversation with Dave Dahl?
Yes, we did. We sure did.
Just kidding, Dave.
I used to pump gas. Did you really? When I was in high school, and we were full service. Did you do the windshields? To this day, I can clean windows better than my wife. And that's not very... well, you better be careful.
What?
You'll be doing it on the house.
What's she supposed to have to clean windows better than you, Joe?
No, I wasn't trained to do that.
Why don't you just talk sports? I think you're better at that.
Ooh, Julie, you cleaned this little window on the desk, right? Since the NFL decided to play 16 regular games in 17 weeks, there has not been a team in the NFL better at the buys than the Minnesota Vikings. Denny Green prides himself on it. The game against New England is going into bye week. A win would leave the Vikings feeling pretty good. The Vikings are 16-2 in sandwich games. 8 wins and 1 loss going in, 8 wins and 1 loss going out. What's the secret? Most players say it's Denny Green.
I think it's just a credit to him, the way he prepares us, the amount of rest he gives us, the respect he gives the guys by giving them time off for doing good work. I feel like he's good to us as far as the amount of time off he does give us, and obviously the guys in past years have responded.
The bye is this week. After the bye, the Vikings play at Detroit. After the game on Sunday, be sure to check out the wrap for the scoop on the Patriot game. Carl Eller and Sid Hartman will be in studio. Eric Gisselson joins us from New England. I'm sorry. It wasn't that funny. It all starts at 10:35. Joe Smith and Glenn Taylor found out this week. This hasn't happened to me ever. Hey, doll, keep it down over there. A $93 million secret is hard to keep. That's the amount that Taylor had secretly arranged to pay Smith over the next 10 years. An NBA spokesman says that the Timberwolves deliberately tried to hide tens of millions of dollars in Smith's contract, and it's the worst kind of salary cap offense possible. The matter is currently under arbitration. Taylor is trying to skirt the NBA salary cap by giving Smith some big guaranteed money in the future. If the league rules against the Wolves, they could receive a hefty fine, lose draft choices, and Glenn Taylor himself could be suspended. Taylor and Kevin McHale did not comment on the report today. Creighton-Durham Hall likes to play on Thursday nights. The Raiders have steamrolled 3 straight teams on Thursday. Tonight, it was Humboldt. Joe Mauer had a pair of touchdown passes in the first quarter. How pretty is this? A perfect strike to Tony Lesseman. Rashawn Powers-Neal also scores twice on the ground. The Raiders look unstoppable. They hammer Humboldt 63-zip. We had a great finish tonight between Harding and Highland Park. Harding ties the game with 5 minutes to play. A toss from Dan White to Jeff Winslow. But with 29 seconds to play, Highlands Park Marcus Smith goes in from 3 yards out. The Scotties win 22-15. And that's it for sports.
Oh, I really wish I could have been in on that joke.
Well, it was...
You got a little sweat going there, Joe.
It's hot in the studio tonight.
We'll be right back with weather.
Wow.
At Denny Hecker's Auto Connection, call 1-866-D-HECKER.
There's not enough time in the day, but there are 13 hours to get what you want. Dayton's 13-hour sale, this Saturday only.
The time is here. The number is 12. It's the ultimate 12-hour sale at Slumberland Furniture, where we sell more Lazy Boy recliners than anyone. Like this Lazy Boy recliner, marked down 40% to just $199. This leather office chair, 12 hours only, just $88. Or this Sealy Posturepedic queen-size set, just $277. We guarantee your total satisfaction, so you can't make a mistake. It's 12 fleeting hours, this Saturday only from 9 to 9. The ultimate 12-hour sale, only at Slumberland Furniture.
Strike Force 1, laser lock. I am your leader.
Could you turn that off, Jake, please?
I can't. It's buried in the back.
Maybe if you hit a bump, it'll shut it off. Try a bigger one.
Unibody construction, independent suspension. The Lexus RX 300 is incredibly smooth on almost any road. For value, the RX is the leader at Lexus of Wayzata and Lexus of Maplewood.
Regular TV putting you to sleep? Maybe it's time you hooked up to cable TV. Yesterday, we told you the cost of installation would go up. Well, guess what? It did. Today, it's $8.95. That's still a great deal. You won't see installation this low again for a long time. In fact, you won't see it this low tomorrow. The sooner you call, the more you save. So order today. Call 651-CABLE-TV. You don't want to miss another day of this great sale.
The Home Depot continues to lower the cost of home improvement.
Come to Home Depot's GE and Maytag Appliance Truckload event. Our low prices will knock your socks off. Dozens of refrigerators, dishwashers, microwaves, range hoods, you name it. Plus, save $152 every day off the retail price on Neptune, Maytag's hardest working washer and dryer. So freeze it, bake it, rinse it, or wash it. The Appliance Truckload event is happening now at the Home Depot.
Is this horizontal world ready for a vertical sandwich? Oh yeah, the new KFC Twister. How good is that? 2 huge crispy strips of white meat chicken, fresh lettuce, tomato, and a peppery sauce rolled up and ready to go. 360 degrees of just plain delicious. How good is that? KFC. Try the new KFC Twister for just $1.99, and today the drink's free. How good is that?
Seekers of savings can choose between low financing or a vast cash allowance on Dodge Ram. Bountiful cash allowances on Dakota may soon cease to exist.
Well, Joe's inside joke burned up all the time we have tonight, so we got to say goodnight. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sometimes the final moments